loves, my name is Paige, this is Patience with Paige, and today we're getting serious about series. So yesterday I posted my 7 on Sunday of the top 7 series that I want to finish off for 2022. Today's video is going to be an amalgamation of all series things. I will have chapters in the description box below for all the different sections that I will be talking about as I go through the different progress that I have made on the series, or thereby lack of, towards the end of the video. I'm not including graphic novels, manga, or comics. Just to give you an overview, I interacted with 61 series. 7 of those I completed, 5 of those I started and completed. 6 I got up to date on, 9 I started and are now up to date with them as they were the first book in the series and the next one wasn't released in 2021. I continued with 14 and I started and have continued with the series as well. I have 3 of those, and then the ones that I started and haven't made any other progress on is 17. So let's dive into each of those sections. The series that I completed in 2021 is Illuminate. I read Gemina and Obsidio, and I have actually unhauled my copies, which is why I no longer have them. I then finished the Cryas War duology by reading Ironheart, and these are in no particular order. I finished off Mistborn Era 1 with Hero of Ages. I finished off the Hell's Library series by AJ Hackworth with The God of Lost Words and cried my fucking eyes out. I finished off the Percy Jackson series with Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian. The Frostheart series by Jamie Littler, I read book 2, which is this, Escape from Aurora, and book 3, The Rise of the World Eater. And then I finished off the Wizards of Wine series by reading Wizards of Wine's Knock Through Time and Never and Forever by Cressida Cowell. In terms of series that I started and finished in 2021, which I'm super happy with, I really enjoyed that this was 5 series. I read the entire Spiderwick Chronicles by Tony DiTerlizzi and Holly Black. I also then read Beyond the Spiderwick Chronicles by the same authors, so there was 5 in here and 3 in the continuation. I read the entirety of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer with the Lunar Along, and we're continuing on with the Mortal Instruments and Our Dark Souls trilogy for 2022. So those will be on next year's video. I read the Jungle Book 1 and the second Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling, and I have unhauled my copy of the Jungle Book. And then I read the Brown Sister trilogy this year with Get a Life Chloe Brown, Take a Hint Danny Brown, and Act Your Age Eve Brown, and these have become some all-time favorites. Next up, we now have the series that I'm up to date with. The first is The Bells by Doniel Clayton. I read Everlasting Rose, and I don't know if another book is coming out in the series or not. There has been no word on it, so we're up to date for now, but this might actually have concluded the series. Not sure. Pages & Co. The Book Smugglers by Anna James. This is a bridging book between the series. It's still under the Pages & Co. series, but this is the 4th book, first in a new trilogy following a new protagonist. And I am in love with this series, so can't wait to continue on, but for now I'm up to date. The Pinch of Magic series by Michelle Harrison. So I read A Tangle of Spells. The next one is coming out in 2022, and I will hopefully read that quicker than I read this one, but I'm glad I'm now up to date. Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Poston. This is the 3rd in the Once Upon a Con series. I don't actually know, again, if they are continuing on with this or not, so at the moment, it's up to date, but it could also have concluded. And then the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers. So this is the 4th. I think I included the trilogy last year in completed. I don't know if there is going to be more of this. Was just an extra one. I'm not mad about it if it was. So I'm going to say up to date in case any more come out in this series. And then I have the Cassidy Blake series. I read book 3, Bridge of Souls. So I'm now up to date with that. So the next section are books that I'm now up to date with, but I read the first book in 2021. So the first is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson, This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Again, no word on when the second one is coming out, so just gonna be chilling for a while. Most of the other ones, I have the second one, I know their publication date, but at the end of 2021, I was up to date. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I do actually own Electric Idol, and because it got released early and was out before the end of December, but I'm still counting it because it technically wasn't meant to be. I don't know why it was on Australian bookshelves. It was supposed to have released like 2 days ago at the point of filming this. Malice by Heather Walter. I am so excited for Miss Rule. I cannot wait. And The Hatmakers by Tamsin Merchant. I believe the second one is coming out pretty soon. soon. I listened to the audiobook of this, so don't have a physical copy, but I do want one eventually. Next are the series that I have made progress in but have not completed. I'm hoping that this stack is significantly larger than my series started. Next year, that would be my goal, to make some progress and or to complete them, but even just making some headway through would be nice. The first being 50 Shades Darker. I have promptly unhauled that and do not need it in my life. I am trying to finish off the third one this year, and then that is done and dusted and can fuck off, and I never have to think about it again. Then I have A Golden Sun, which is the second in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. The Fire in the Forging by Tamora Pierce. The third in the Circle of Magic series, also known as Daja's book, I believe. A Dance with Dragons Part 1, Dream and Dust by George R.R. Martin. I am finishing off the second part this year, I swear to God. If not, you can come at me. Frostbite by Michelle Mead. This is the second in the Vampire Academy series. Heroes by Stephen Fry. This is the second in Stephen Fry's Great Mythology series. Waking Gods by Sylvain Novelle, which is the second in the Sleeping Giants trilogy. Silence of the Lambs, which is the second in the Hannibal series by Thomas Harris. Soulbinder by Sebastian de Castell, which is the fourth in the Spellslinger series, and I am super excited to continue on with the rest of the series. Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman, which is the third in the Practical Magic series. Silverthorn by Raymond E. Feist, which is the second in the Rift War saga. The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. This is the second in the Live Ship series, and I'm super devastated that I couldn't bring myself to read Ship of Destiny in December. I was just too busy, it was too much, it was too chunky. I will hopefully have this in my completed series for 2022. And A Court of Wings and Ruin and the novella A Court of Frost and Starlight. I am sort of counting it as a whole continuation into A Court of Silver Flames. I know some people just count that 4 as a completed series, some just count the first 3 and not the novella, but for me I'm just going to say the whole thing. Then we have series that I started but also made some progress with continuing. So even if this is also on that higher numerical value, that would be great. The first is the Wizard of Oz series by L. Frank Baum. I read The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Marvelous Land of Oz, and Ozma of Oz, which is in this bind-up, and I really want to collect the other editions of these. I think they'll be really nice, and listening to the audiobooks on Scribd, super easy breezy. The Bone Season by Samantha Shun, and I read the prequel novella, The Pale Dreamer, and this, so technically I made some progress. Yes, I'm stretching it, come at me bros, but I'm super excited to continue on with this series though, so I hope we can make some more progress in that series for 2022. And the Ember in the Ashes quartet. I read An Ember in the Ashes and Torch Against the Night by Sabatia, and I'm having so much fun. I have the Reaper at the gates on my tibia ready to go, so can't wait to dive into 3 and hopefully 4. And then finally onto the series that I started in 2021 and only read the first book. Quite a few of these are digital, so here we go. The first is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. These are short novellas, and I think the 7th one is coming out. I know once I get into the swing of it and take the time to listen to them, I will be sweet, but I keep forgetting that they exist because I don't have physical copies of them. The next is the Hades and Persephone series by Scarlett St. Clair. There are 4, and I read A Touch of Darkness. Next was the Every series, with the first being Every Breath by Ellie Marnie. I definitely wanted to continue on with this series, and then life just happened. This was part of the Last to Read Books Club group and I just didn't get to it, but I definitely want to continue on because I feel like they were such fun stories to begin with. Then I have The Grimrose Girls by Laura Pohl. I read this as an e-arc. And finally for digital, I have started the Del Toro Quest by Emily Rodda. I know that April absolutely loves these, and I'm actually really keen to keep going. I read The Forest of Silence. I don't know how many there are, but I'm definitely interested in continuing on with it, as they were just really fun adventure stories. In terms of physical books though, I started His Dark Materials with Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, the Amber and Dust Duology by Lyra Celine, the Sung Below Water series by Bethany C. Morrow, the Earth Children series by Jean M. Auel, which is the first being The Clan of the Cave Bear. This was actually a reread for me as I wanted to restart the series. Am I Normal Yet by Holly Bourne. I believe this is the first in the Spinsters Club, Spinster Sisters, something along those lines. Alice by Christina Henry. I am apprehensive to pick up the rest of the series, but also very, very intrigued too. The first in the Laws of Magic series, which is Blaze of Glory by Michael Pryor. This is also a reread as I want to make my way through the series, as I read some of them when I was younger, but absolutely love this, so keen to continue on. Bear Town by Frederick Blackman. I believe a third one has just been announced, so I need to get to Us Against You and then that one, but I really struggled to get into this the first time I tried to read it as a buddy read with Aoife back in 2020, and then in winter of 2021 I was like, this is happening. And once I got past like the first 50, 100 pages, I was smooth sailing and hurt. Book 1 in the Septimus Heap series by Angie Sage, which is magic. A lot of fun, can't wait to continue on. The first in the Folk of the Air series, which is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I read a lot of Holly Black last year. The David Bad trilogy with City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I believe I'll be reading Kingdom of Copper around March. Fingers crossed. And finally, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series, the first being The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. And this was a blast. I love Rick Riordan, so happy to continue on, although I know I won't be getting them in the hardcovers as they don't make them anymore. I can only get the paperbacks. So I'm not going to hold up those because I am concerned. But let me know in the comments, how are you with series? Are you happy with how you progress throughout 2021? And where are your goals for 2022? If you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!